Hello everyone. A mist-drenched valley at dawn, golden light filtering through pale haze. Dew sparkles like glass threads across the grass, while faint ghostly footprints shimmer beneath the soil. The air glows with quiet divinity as invisible presences breathe through the landscape, every blade of grass painted in sacred reverence. A lone traveler stands in a silent meadow, cloak brushing through tall grass. Spectral outlines of vanished cottages faintly emerge within curling fog. The scene feels half real, half memory. Sunlight bends through mist as unseen hands shape the hills into divine geometry. Beneath the earth, layers of clay cradle relics of forgotten life, a cracked hearthstone, a carved child's toy, fragments of pottery glowing faintly like relics in candlelight. Above, crows circle against a pale sky, echoing over a field that hums with memory. Old farmers till a timeless field, lanterns flicker despite windless air. Ghostly silhouettes seem to walk beside them, overlapping centuries. Wheat sways like a sea of whispers as if blessing and mourning coexist under the same breath of dawn. The valley's horizon shimmers, revealing for an instant a spectral village doorways opening into light, shadow walls forming and dissolving. The air vibrates like a hymn. The viewer senses an unseen bell tolling from another century. The final image drifts beyond the hill, a silent, sentient landscape awaiting rediscovery. The wind curls through grass shaped like script, carrying a whisper through time. The sky deepens in rose and gold as memory itself seems to breathe. The tranquil medieval valley stands deserted beneath a pale evening sky. Empty cottages crumble among weeds, open doors yawning toward the mist. The last traces of life shimmer faintly. An overturned cart, a dropped spindle while the wind moves through in soft lamentation, as if reading an unwritten prayer. A ghostly English hamlet half consumed by grass, tools abandoned beside stone walls, smoke frozen in air, no people in sight. Nature encircles the silence like a green shroud, sunlight glancing on forgotten ploughs as angels of memory drift unseen above the fields. A red mist rolls through a forested German valley, swallowing cottages as villagers fade like reflections. Beneath the scene, faint church bells ring underwater, spectral echoes ripple outward, mingling faith and disappearance in a glowing haze of crimson light. A lone monk in candlelit scriptorium records a season of absences. Around him, ghostly silhouettes rise from the parchment villages dissolving into smoke, shepherds walking into the hills, empty cloisters breathing. The quill trembles as unseen hands turn the page. A twilight panorama of abandoned chapels, broken wells, and fields glowing faintly beneath starlight. Each ruin hums with invisible warmth. Faint outlines of people shimmer just above the soil. The air bends, blending centuries in a sacred illusion of continuity. The final vision. Dusk over a silent valley where shadows lengthen and a single bell tolls from nowhere. The sound hangs like incense in cooling air. Distant hills blur into dream. The watcher stands between worlds, at the edge of history's last breath. A vast pre-Roman wilderness stretches across Europe, rivers glinting like threads of memory through endless forests, faint smoke rising from unseen hearths. The air glows gold and silver as ethereal figures move within mist, ancient hands shaping the land in harmony with starlight. A Roman surveyor stands at the edge of a valley, parchment in hand, watching ancient pathways curve beneath his feet. Ghostly trails crisscross the fields. Beneath his map shimmer older lines, drawn in faint light, revealing the buried roads of forgotten builders. Circular earthworks emerge beneath morning fog, giant spirals of soil and timber stretching across France and Germany, illuminated by dawn. Above them, constellations mirror their shapes, the heavens aligned perfectly with the marks of vanished hands. An imagined prehistoric village hums with quiet life, roundhouses of wattle and clay, children laughing near fires, elders tracing star paths on stones. Golden smoke ascends into the twilight sky, forming patterns that resemble constellations and prophecy. Roman legions march past ancient standing stones, their banners ripple beside forgotten sanctuaries. Beneath marble temples, ghostly circles of older stones glow faintly. The empire builds upon sacred ground, unaware of the rhythm pulsing below its roads. A twilight panorama of Europe's forests and plains, earthen mounds, labyrinthine stone coils, ridges under crops shining through mist. The land breathes like a living manuscript, its shadows forming unseen symbols as the sun fades behind time's horizon. A vast primeval landscape filled with mist and soft light. Ghostly figures move through forest and fog, carrying baskets and torches that glow faintly. No faces are distinct, only movement, rhythm, and the whisper of creation before history began. The earth beneath their feet shimmers with buried constellations. An overhead view of ring-shaped settlements and circular hearths carved into the green countryside. Post holes and paths form perfect geometry, visible only from the heavens. The scene glows with divine order, each shape radiant with hidden intelligence. Across Europe's rolling hills, ghostly faces merge from soil and cloud. Fishermen, shepherds, wanderers, all sharing the same pulse. Streams of gold thread connect them through rivers and forests, forming a web of kinship that gleams like veins of living light. Artifacts hover in darkness, gold spirals, etched discs, and bone flutes suspended in air. Celestial symbols reflect from their surfaces, suggesting communication with the stars. The light around them is reverent, as though creation itself holds its breath. A modern archaeologist kneels in a sunlit trench. Soil and shadow swirl like smoke. Behind her, faint transparent silhouettes watch from the edges of time, serene faces formed from dust and light, bearing the calm of infinite patience. A vision of nameless harmony. Fields aligned with sunrise, stones pulsing faintly beneath twilight, rivers glowing with memory. No borders, no rulers, only rhythm and belonging. The world breathes as one illuminated page, whispering its forgotten song. A moonlit hearthside in an ancient village. Elders whisper tales to children, while faint, translucent figures, the hill-dwellers, listen from the mist beyond the window. The fire glows gold and crimson, casting shadows shaped like forgotten faces, the room alive with unseen memory. Hollow green hills glowing at twilight, doors of light opening into the earth. As the Scythian times emerge, ethereal figures carrying grain and music beneath a sky rippled with aurora. The landscape shimmers between reality and dream, half buried in legend. A medieval monk writes by candlelight in a dim cloister. On the parchment beside his ink appear ghostly impressions of bells, lights, and unseen presences rising from the page. The text glows faintly as if illuminated by memory itself. Across Europe's mountains and fields, phantom builders work by moonlight, tiny hands shaping stone arches, vanishing as dawn breaks. Around them hover golden halos of secrecy, symbolizing forbidden knowledge quietly offered to humankind. Peasants in a dark forest leave bread upon a window ledge. Pale faces peer from between roots and moss. The light of the offering glows softly through the fog, turning superstition into sacred ritual, an unspoken pact between worlds. A vast, symbolic tableau, layers of the earth cut open like pages above, mortals tilling soil, below, luminous spirits weaving patterns of memory. The two worlds mirror one another in harmony, the border between myth and archaeology shimmering with divine light. A twilight archaeological site. Figures with lanterns kneel in trenches, golden light spilling over unearthed relics. Mist curls around them, and the ground glows faintly beneath their hands, as though the earth itself guards its own secrets in sacred silence. Within a dim university archive, shelves overflow with forgotten artifacts, dusty boxes, broken pottery, ancient metal gleaming faintly. A single beam of light falls on an object too advanced for its era, casting a shadow shaped like a question mark across the parchment floor. A surreal composition. Concentric circles of ruins merging through centuries prehistoric stones, Roman walls, medieval ruins all layered in translucent harmony. Time itself appears woven through the landscape like golden threads of divine geometry. Night descends over the excavation. A lone archaeologist stands under a silver sky, mist swirling around. Instruments fail, compasses spin, while unseen energies ripple through the air, bending starlight into halos of trembling revelation. An allegorical vault scene. Curators in candlelight quietly seal artifacts in crates, marked time's anomaly asterisk. Ghostly scholars hover above, their expressions conflicted between curiosity and fear. The glow from the sealed box forms a cross of forbidden light. Final tableau. A dusk-lit field veiled in silver mist. A trowel gleams atop the soil like a relic, while beneath, faint silhouettes of forgotten builders shimmer in alignment with the stars. A distant bell rings from nowhere soft, eternal, unanswered. A candlelit monastery scriptorium where monks bend over parchment. Gold light spills over erased scrolls as ghostly words reappear faintly beneath new ink. The air glows with divine tension, faith rewriting memory under the watch of unseen eyes. A grand medieval hall of kings and scribes, one figure in rich robes, gestures toward a glowing mosaic of history, while behind him, shadows of forgotten tribes blur into the stone walls. The scene radiates both majesty and quiet erasure. A monk's quill scrapes across a palimpsest. Under the scraped parchment, faint runes and symbols shimmer like embers of an older language. Light and shadow divide the image, representing faith overwriting the pagan past. A ruined monastery under moonlight arches, glowing blue, roots twisting through the floor. Beneath the stone foundations, ghostly outlines of a circular pagan temple glow faintly, showing how the sacred was renamed, not destroyed. A collage of language and time. Swirling letters from Latin, Celtic, and forgotten tongues overlap like layers of mist. Each script glows with faint red light, forming a living tapestry of words that resist erasure. Final scene at twilight, carved inscriptions on monastery walls catch fading sunlight, half Latin, half unknown. Wind moves through cloisters like a whispered chorus. The stones shimmer as though the past itself exhales, remembering its own lost name. A mist-covered hillside at dawn, terraces carved into the slope, overgrown yet precise, stones glowing faintly through moss. Golden light drifts across the field like memory taking form. The land itself seems awake, whispering of forgotten hands. A dense European forest where trees bend in perfect arches, forming a hidden script across the landscape. The trunks gleam with dew and quiet intelligence. Sunlight filters through like divine revelation upon nature's forgotten geometry. A French chapel stands above a buried circle of ancient stones. Cracks in the marble floor glow in dawn light, tracing the outline of the older shrine beneath. Monks watch in reverent awe as the past redraws itself from below. An underground cutaway of a modern city, Paris or London, layered like an illuminated palimpsest. Roman walls, Iron Age tracks, tunnels, catacombs. Each level glows with faint golden halos, time stacked like pages of living scripture. Travellers kneel within a circle of standing stones at twilight, mist curling around them. Their hands rest on cool rock that hums faintly. Unseen energy ripples across the scene like invisible music joining past and present. Final nocturnal panorama. Stars shimmer above a silent valley, where ancient stones merge into earth. Mist coils like breath, and faint golden vibrations radiate from the land. The scene glows with eternal remembrance, the earth dreaming of itself. A vast starlit landscape where constellations mirror ancient stone circles on the earth below. Lines of golden light connect sky and soil. Farmers and astronomers in robes gaze upward, their faces illuminated by the breath of the cosmos. At dawn, sunlight pierces precisely between twin monoliths, flooding a misty valley with a single golden beam. Villagers watch in reverence as shadows align with celestial precision, the land glowing like a living sundial of eternity. A serene map of Europe seen from the heavens. Glowing networks of megaliths connected by radiant ley lines following constellations. Rivers and stars intertwine, forming a divine geometry that hums with timeless equilibrium. A lone scholar stands among ancient stones at twilight. Above him, Orion's belt gleams in perfect alignment with carved pillars. The scene glows in gold and deep blue, a dialogue between heaven and earth suspended in stillness. A cosmic disturbance ripples across the sky. Brilliant meteors tear through constellations, while frightened observers clutch their torches. The ancient alignment fractures, reflected in the trembling stones below, the night alive with divine unease. Final panoramic vision. Stars, stones, and horizon locked in one perfect harmony. The earth breathes light upward, the heavens answer in gold and indigo. Human silhouettes stand small within infinity, participants in a rhythm older than memory. A crimson sky collapsing above terrified villagers, sun darkened, ash falling like snow. People kneel among standing stones, glowing faintly beneath clouds of smoke, their faces illuminated by firelight and awe as the heavens twist with divine upheaval. A sacred hill under a blood-red moon. Ancient watchers raise torches as constellations vanish into haze. The air ripples with gold and ash, mountains silhouetted against a sky streaked with falling stars, cosmic betrayal rendered in reverent detail. Mythic tableau. Phaethon's chariot burns across the heavens, scattering embers over darkened seas. Below, temples crumble as priests lift hands to the vanishing sun. The earth glows like molten glass in the wake of celestial catastrophe. A solitary astronomer in furs carves new lines into a stone circle beneath dim, dust-veiled stars. The air glows copper, his tools shine faintly with purpose. This image captures rebirth human persistence beneath a wounded sky. In Brittany, dawn strikes a long line of standing stones, each aligned to both old and new horizons. Mist rises between them, light bending through history. Dual sunbeams meet at a single point, symbol of resilience and renewal. Final vision. The sky restored, pale gold light spilling over green fields and rivers thawing. Beneath calm constellations, survivors rebuild with reverence. Above them, stars pulse gently, as if remembering the moment they once fell to earth. A dawn-lit valley reborn from ash. Green shoots pierce grey soil, rivers glimmer through mist, and small shelters of wood and earth rise amid ruins. Survivors gather around faint fires, faces serene, the air shimmering with the first light of renewal. Women weave by lamplight, their tapestries glowing with hidden star patterns. Children hum lullabies under constellations mirrored in thread, carrying fragments of cosmic memory disguised as daily grace, their movements calm, eternal. A tranquil mountain pasture in Slovenia. Shepherds stand beneath wind-swept clouds, heads bowed in reverence, listening to invisible voices carried through air. The scene glows with muted holiness, nature, whispering prophecy. An intimate shrine by an alpine spring stone circle within a cross, carved faintly into rock, water gleaming like liquid light. Offerings of bread and flowers rest nearby, symbols of gratitude older than scripture. A panorama of travelers crossing wind-swept plains beneath unfamiliar stars. They carry relics wrapped in linen and memory, tiny suns etched in bone, leaving luminous trails that vanish into a violet horizon of renewal. Final twilight scene. Wheat fields swaying beneath steady constellations. Survivors' descendants walking silently through gold and shadow. The wind bends the grain into patterns of prayer. Endurance itself becomes the sacred design. A dim firelit gathering where survivors tell their stories faces aglow, shadows forming shapes of ancient gods in the smoke. Around them, children listen wide-eyed as memory turns into myth. The night itself seems to lean closer to hear. Temples rise where stone circles once stood, priests lifting sun-carved discs that gleam like halos. Above, constellations mirror stained glass windows. Faith and astronomy merge in one radiant act of remembrance. A saint stands in a Gothic cathedral bathed in coloured light, her halo shaped like a solar spiral. Beneath her feet, faint carvings of ancient constellations glow through marble, proof of forgotten worship surviving through design. Pilgrims approach a sacred spring at dawn, candles reflecting in the water's surface. Behind them, unseen in the mist, the alignment of the stones and stars echoes the same devotion, ancient geometry reborn as faith. An archaeologist uncovers a carved figurine within a cathedral wall. Dust floats in golden shafts of light. The sculpture's spiral sun and uplifted hand glow faintly, bridging prehistory and religion in one timeless gesture. Final night scene. A starlit landscape where cathedrals and ruins share the same light. The heavens shimmer above, calm and infinite, while a distant bell tolls its sound, weaving myth, memory, and eternity into one endless circle. A cross-section of a great European city, gleaming towers above, ancient tunnels and catacombs below. Layers of forgotten streets, Roman mosaics, and prehistoric huts glow faintly beneath the surface, connected by golden threads of time weaving upward through stone. Beneath Paris, a labyrinth of candle-lit tunnels mirrors the city above. Figures with torches pass Roman arches and medieval walls, while spectral silhouettes of older builders shimmer through the limestone, a dialogue of centuries unfolding underground. In London, construction workers unearth ancient pottery glowing faintly amid concrete dust. The skyline of glass towers looms above like spectres of progress, while below, the earth reveals its memory-curving roads tracing the forgotten rhythm of Celtic paths. LiDAR imagery reimagined as vision. Forests and farmlands dissolve into light, revealing ghost towns beneath green canopies. The laser's beam carves luminous geometry across the landscape, perfect circles, hidden walls, the sleeping architecture of vanished lives. A small church interior in Germany, its stone floor cracked open to reveal pagan foundations, glowing faintly beneath. The priest stands above, uncertain, candlelight trembling as ancient patterns reclaim their shape beneath his feet. Final nocturnal panorama. A modern city at night, its lights mirrored by ghostly outlines below. Streets align with forgotten avenues. Echoes rise like faint prayers through the pavement. The living and the buried share one eternal blueprint. A vast night sky over Europe glows with swirling constellations and orbiting satellites. Golden beams descend through mist, revealing the luminous outlines of forgotten cities beneath forests and fields. The earth opens like an illuminated manuscript of time. In a modern laboratory, scientists in dim light study glowing holographic landscapes, mountains dissolving into radiant grids, rivers flowing like threads of light. Their faces reflect wonder and unease as digital ghosts rise on the screens. LiDAR beams pierce dense forest canopy, revealing geometric ruins below. Perfect circles, vanished walls, spiraling earthworks. The laser light shimmers in emerald and gold, transforming the wilderness into a sacred revelation of buried order. A medieval map unrolls beside a glowing digital screen. The old parchment's mythic rivers and symbols align perfectly with the modern image of ancient roads beneath soil folklore, vindicated by light, the past and present, clasping hands. A lone researcher stands on a hill at dusk. Above, satellites trace invisible constellations, while below, fields shimmer with unseen architecture. The air hums softly, bridging ancient star maps and modern technology in divine symmetry. Final composition. A glowing digital Earth suspended in darkness, layers of lost civilizations pulsing beneath its surface. Lines of light form spirals like celestial music, symbolizing memory reborn through the sight of machines. A serene dawn over a layered city. Modern towers rise above transparent strata of Roman bricks and Neolithic hearths. Light spills downward through ages, uniting soil, stone, and glass in a single breath of remembrance. Ancient artisans carve spirals into stone, while ghostly figures of modern architects sketch glass towers above them. The same circular pattern glows between their hands, symbolizing the looping nature of memory across millennia. A digital archaeologist gazes into a glowing hologram of a buried city. The projection transforms into a vision of ancestors shaping clay tablets. Past and future intertwine as luminous data becomes living memory. Inside a quiet cathedral, shafts of light illuminate faded frescoes beneath them. Ghostly older symbols emerge: spirals, suns, and constellations. The air hums with continuity, reverence unbroken through translation and time. A dreamlike landscape where bodies of light walk among the ruins of all eras. Builders, monks, and modern wanderers sharing one horizon. The sky above reflects every age at once, shimmering in unity. Final vision. Dawn light washes over the Earth's open strata, from buried fires to glass towers. Each layer glows gold and crimson, the whisper of forgotten knowledge rising upward, a reminder that memory never dies, it only waits. An ancient European village at dawn. Cobblestone streets curve in golden mist, rooftops glowing like memory. Beneath the surface, shimmer ghostly outlines of older buildings, temples, marketplaces, and forgotten fires layered beneath modern life. A baker in a candlelit kitchen slices a cross into rising bread. Faint spirits of prehistoric hands mirror the gesture. The air glows warm with ritual, showing how daily habit carries the pulse of ancient devotion. A dreamlike tableau. A sleeping figure surrounded by luminous visions, stone circles, stars, and ancestral silhouettes drifting through fog. The subconscious unfurls like an illuminated scroll of shared human memory. Beneath a calm lake, the outlines of a medieval town gleam under shallow water. Church towers and walls appear like ghosts of reflection. Above, storm clouds break, sunlight striking the drowned city in revelation. At twilight, birds trace ancient migration paths through a golden sky. Rivers shimmer below, carving prehistoric courses, while human silhouettes stand at the edge of time, aware, awed, remembering. Final vision. A vast panorama blending epochs, ruins, fields, cathedrals, and stars united in one eternal glow. Human figures walk amid transparent histories, their shadows merging with the pulse of the living earth. A scholar in candlelight unrolls an ancient world map. Inked coastlines glimmer with impossible accuracy. In the margins, erased continents glow faintly beneath new lines, ghosts of a forgotten geography reborn under the flicker of golden flame. A Renaissance study filled with compasses, globes, and forbidden charts. In the center, an ice-free Antarctica glows blue on parchment. A monk's trembling hand half erases the proof while stars shimmer through the window above. A dreamlike map carved on bronze radiating circles and spirals merging constellations with coastlines. The symbols glow with soft red light as if alive, blending astronomy and geography into one forgotten cosmic language. Sailors aboard a medieval ship study a tattered chart marked with phantom islands. Compasses spin wildly, waves mirror the sky, and unseen magnetic forces blur the boundary between myth and navigation. A secret archive deep beneath a cathedral. Scholars in shadow pore over hidden scrolls while a single beam of light reveals overlapping maps of heaven and earth constellations perfectly aligned with continents. Final vision. An ancient parchment glowing under starlight, continents and constellations fused into one living pattern. The ink shimmers as if breathing, suggesting the earth itself is still being redrawn in divine memory. A vast chamber glows with holographic light. Ancient parchment maps hover beside digital projections of earth. Scholars in shadow compare celestial lines and coastlines as the planet's forgotten geometry reawakens beneath their hands. Infrared light reveals underdrawings on a Renaissance chart, faded coastlines and river paths glowing through the paper. The ghost of Antarctica without ice emerges, rendered in ethereal blue beneath the trembling quill of history. A celestial globe merges with the earth. Continents outlined in gold align perfectly with constellations above. The stars and seas pulse together like one living system, blurring the boundary between map and cosmos. An observatory at night walls lined with glowing screens, showing ancient and modern routes intertwined. Airplanes and caravans trace the same luminous corridors. The past hums faintly beneath the circuits of the present. Scientists and mystics gather around a luminous table, where global lines form sacred triangles connecting mountains and ruins. Geometry and wonder meet in golden harmony, the planet portrayed as conscious design. Final sunrise scene. A map dissolves into light, folding inward until only reflection remains on the glass. Outside, the living earth mirrors its image, mountains and rivers gleaming as if aware of being remembered again. A golden dawn over an ancient field. Archaeologists and villagers stand together as mist lifts from stone ruins. Light ripples across the earth like breath, and faint figures of the past shimmer within the air, recognition blooming between centuries. Inside a quiet study, a scholar touches a glowing hologram of forgotten architecture. Behind her, ghostly builders made of starlight mirror the gesture. The image glows in gold and indigo, a bridge of memory spanning time. Artists and wanderers create by candlelight circles, spirals, and constellations weaving through their designs. Invisible ancestors guide their hands. The room radiates with warmth, invention, and reverent recognition of continuity. A vast night sky turns slowly above a luminous city. Its lights align with ancient constellations mirrored below. Towers and temples hum with the same rhythm, the modern world awakening to its buried reflection. A tranquil moment before a monolith. Travelers rest their palms on stone glowing with inner light. Around them, air shimmers with memory, and faint patterns of ancient hands reappear across the surface in living gold. Final vision. The stars and the earth breathe together as one luminous whole. Fields, ruins, and galaxies merge in radiant unity. Humanity stands in the center, illuminated by remembrance, the gentle light of everything that endures. A vast snow-covered field under twilight. Beneath the translucent drifts, glow faint outlines of ancient ruins. Light seeps upward like memory reborn, revealing that time's silence has always been protection, not absence. A dreamlike city layered through centuries, modern streets above, ghostly temples below. Between them, a golden pulse of light flows upward, showing memory awakening through stone, glass, and soil in one continuous breath. Human silhouettes stand within a cathedral built atop ancient ruins. The floor glows with faint runes beneath the tiles, and the air ripples with invisible energy, time folding gently into revelation. A river of stars and soil intertwines atoms rising from earth into human figures. Their bodies shimmer with cosmic dust, illustrating the truth that flesh itself is ancient memory disguised as form. Ruins under sunset. Carvings softened by rain gleam with returning light. In the distance, new buildings echo their shape, exactly proof that what time tried to hide is still designing the present. Final vision. A night sky over living fields, stars mirrored in the earth below. Ghostly figures of ancestors walk beside the living, all luminous, all breathing the same eternal rhythm of remembrance and return.